Hello again, this is Heero Uzuki with part 74 of my Fallout New Vegas Let's Play, the game in which we had a face-to-brain meeting with Dr. Mobius, and as it turns out, he's not exactly the bad guy here. That may very well, in fact, be the think tank. Because if they get a hold of my brain, well, they'll know how to perform the autodoc surgery needed to fit their brains into another human body and go out to make the Mojave a new kind of hell altogether. And we can't let that happen. We're not, but first things first, I'm gonna see about looting the place just a little bit. I'm sure the doc won't mind. He's a nice enough guy, after all. More of that for me, please. Drugs. Don't do drugs, they're bad for you. I must stress that. They are bad for you. Don't do them. Talk to you in a moment. More drugs just lying around. Should probably cram some stuff down my gullet. Make some room. Yum. Taste that radiation. Yum. More drugs! I'm sorry, Doc, but I need to take these up from you. I'm worried they're making you see shit, and you really do need to wean off these. There's some dumb bastard out in the Mojave who will buy these. Nice. Okay. Dr. Mobius' scrubs. Alright, let's talk to the brain.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through bits of radioactive muck again?
Nope.
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Oh, ha ha ha, very funny. Fucking smartass.
Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good Lord, have you bathed at all since they pulled me out of you?
Oh yes, once every 2 hours.
Well, I see sarcasm hasn't eluded you. Fine, perhaps now isn't the best time, but it's the principle of the thing. Oh, had I? What exactly will you do if I don't? Not put me back in that cranial dungeon you call your head? Heavens forbid.
I'll watch television. Lots and lots of television.
You wouldn't. That's inhuman.
You're right, I wouldn't. I'd follow it up with an alcohol and ant nectar cocktail every night. No, let's not do that.
I suppose it did. Bravo! You've managed to intimidate the brain in a jar.
Hey, it worked.
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about.
I believe that,
Dr. Mobius
actually.
saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome. I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate.
So the
I didn't
brain
come
equivalent
around
of being
until I was
knocked
safely
out.
ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though. Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it. Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
A bit, yes.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing.
Is it now?
Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions.
You make that sound like it's a bad
Do you know
thing.
how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
You do realize, of course, that we haven't stopped for a bathroom break once, right? Not for lack of trying, mind you, but still. It's mostly because we can't find a working bathroom.
If you want me back, we need to establish some ground rules.
Let's hear them.
First, showers!
Trying.
Second, regular checkups. Regular, mind you, and from a reputable doctor.
You have someone in mind?
That Julie Farkas woman, for example, she seems to know a thing or two. Third, you need to listen to me more than your hormonal choir and genitalian orchestra. Promise me that, and you've got a deal.
You realize I haven't paid attention to either of those two, right?
Really? I didn't expect you to actually agree to that. I'm afraid that was a bit of a bluff, really. I'm not going with you.
Shocker.
Of course you do. How scintillating.
Very much so.
Ugh, crawl back in there? Are you mad?
Mad
I don't know
implies
where
some
you've
kind of
been.
mental deficiency.
For all I know, you're riddled with disease or packing one of those delightful head wounds you seem to attract.
No.
I'm not crawling back into your head just to ooze right back out again. Even if I believe you, and I'm not saying I do, we still have one significant problem we're facing.
The lack of surgery
Even if
equipment.
I wanted to settle myself back in your skull and go to all the trouble of reconnecting nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
What about the auto dock in the sink?
And you believe them? Really?
Not really.
I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead. Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day.
Do you now?
All right. What's the plan? Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar.
Neat.
I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us.
Yes, very much so.
Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
I should probably go ahead and talk to the doc.
Oh, I see you and your brain reached a compromise.
Yep.
How pleasant. I hypothesized after the indignant frequencies my receptors had recepted, such a partnership-based conclusion would be low on the likely scale.
Oh, ye of little faith. Can you
If I recall, I had a plan that was working, whatever it was. I don't think it reached fruition. I would recall fruit if it had happened.
Fruit?
I wasn't trying to kill them, just keep them out of trouble. What was that plan? Blast. I probably wrote it down on the floor somewhere.
What was the plan?
Something ingenious and needlessly complicated, I expect. I may have already told you and forgotten it. I forgot I had forgotten pencils until one day I found one. Spent days studying its purpose before my memory circuit kicked in.
You studied
Felt quite silly.
a pencil. Anything that doesn't require violence. Try not to be a total
you
ass.
could try and appeal to their humanity. That's a tired cliche. And really, when they were humans, they weren't very good humans.
Don't remind me.
Well, there's many things they have forgotten sitting in their bowls. Friendship, the thrill of discovery, love, masturbation,
Ew.
the usual. Much like your brain, I am certain there is something you can spark within each of them. Memories, hormones. A wise man once said, "The eyes do more than see. Make them see, if you can.
How very
Or
insightful.
if not, you can always make them succumb to fear." It certainly worked for me.
It did, didn't
for
it?
a time. Then you came along, and bravery and/or desperation trumped that little idea. Back to the drawing board, I suppose. Or is this the end? Hard to tell.
In a manner of speaking.
Oh, tell them I'm still alive. We had a nice chat, and we agree on a few things. That's true, isn't it?
You're not wrong.
Or you could kill me and lie about it.
No.
Either way, it would be interesting. And if you are partial to lying and deception, well, you could tell them a ludicrous lie. The more over the top, the better. That's my experience.
Oh, you have so much
They're more
experience in
than a
that
little
regard.
Gullible. Better make it convincing, though, or it'll be the dissection table and vivisectors for you.
No, thank you.
And if you speak of me, please try and make me look good. I am Dr. Mobius, after all, not some lab assistant teacher's aide.
I suppose if I wanted to lie, I could just bullshit them and say that your brain is in my body.
Indeed. The goodbye part of our little chat, then. Goodbye. Please mind the equations on the floor.
Noted. Focus on this. Thank you. Actually, I do believe that I walked past... Or highlight it. There it is. Nice. Well, we're already gonna use the auto jump. Ow. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give this to our jukebox. Mine. Also mine. It never hurts to have extras. Alright, back to the sink. I've got a heart and spine that need to get put back in place.
You require some additional services?
Yes, I do.
And rightly so, I should think. Alright then, let me just fire up the old interface for you.
Thank you. Heart back in my chest, please. Your heart is back in your body, but some advanced technologies remain. You are less resistant to poison, and robots are only somewhat confused by you. But on the bright side, healing items, chems, are twice as effective. Seriously, don't do drugs. Just don't.
I smell sedition.
Shut up!
You require some additional services? And rightly so, I should think. Alright then, let me just fire up the old interface for you.
Now I need my spine back in. Your spine is back in your body, but some advanced technologies remain. Your torso can now be crippled again, but your strength and damage threshold bonuses have doubled. How very convenient. Hi, Jefferson, buddy.
What's the haps?
The haps is I got a sound wave file for
Right
you.
on, Daddy-o. Just plug it in and I'll mix you up a sweet, sweet sound.
Alright, later.
Catch you later, Gator.
Well, I certainly feel better now that, my heart and spine are back in place. Alright, time to go see the think tank. I think we've been here long enough. At least insofar as captivity is concerned. My captivity.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
No.
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite.
Or you'll
Now,
what?
your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
Not happening.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender.
No!
With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first.
Sure you do.
About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
And that right there is exactly why this shit needs to stop. Now, this option right here only comes if you did all those side quests from earlier. It beats having to get a ridiculously high speech or science stat.
Nonsense. Confer, colleagues. Those are two words I do not recognize.
Oh?
Dr. Klein, I must intercept. Please, do not harm the lobotomite.
I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to dissect it until it's dead.
What's the
Why the
difference?
sudden intersection, Dalla?
I cannot stand a sweet breathing organism breathing in and out to suddenly not breathe. We must keep it alive for study. Slow study.
Gross. Keep it to yourself.
These vocalized pauses are unlike you. What do you care?
Klein, this lobotomite, it's a great sounding board. You respect ideology, right? This one's, well, it's got good ideas.
Silence, Dr. O. This is a think tank decision. Save your objections until after I have decided our course of action.
Wow, dick.
You know what, Klein? Stick a straw in your tank and suck yourself. Long and deep. And my name is Zero. Yeah, a big, fat zero with a slash through it.
He remembered how
A
nice.
slash as a designator. Why, that is brilliant. But how did you...
Me.
The lobotomite taught me that. Taught me a name is more than, that I should take pride in things like names. And
Go on.
you know what? Forget it, Klein. I hate you. And your theory of brachial beam oscillation? The Chinese had it first, you copycat.
Plagiarism.
How dare you? Brainial beam oscillation was solely my discovery. I expressly told you that and deleted all evidence to the contrary.
And you just admitted to plagiarizing someone else's work.
It's too late. Why are you acting like this? You've never refused to commit necessary surgery before. And this lobotomite needs its surgery.
No, thank you. Already took care of that. How very profound.
A noble speech, but there is no room in my vocabulators for friend and lobotomite in the same sentence. The very concept, revolting.
How narrow-minded.
Perhaps you are irradiated with camaraderie radiation. We have chems for that. We can save you from your emotional addiction.
If I may, I feel as if I must be the voice of reason here.
Is that right?
This lobotomite is much like us. Regarding even animals and pets is nothing more than avenues to promote science.
No.
There is
No, I
good
don't.
here. Instead of ending its life on the table, we should prolong its suffering.
No!
In the name
Not
of
suffering.
science. Like good old Gabe, the finest of lab specimens.
Why am I even listening to you fools? Enough of this mutinous chorus. If there's a word I hate, it's mutiny.
How about
And
mutinous?
the word jism, which never made any sense to me. It's ridiculous putting j and z together like that. Nonsense! I count as 5. Like the mighty human hand I once had, with its 5 penises clenched in a fist.
What? That is wrong on so many levels.
Nonsense! The mathematics of this situation are on our side, lobotomite. I believe... No, wait. Carry the 2, and then...
Give him a moment.
If this were a democracy, I would be concerned. We are too scientific for that. So just surrender.
So what, this is an autocracy?
You dare use logic against me?
Not much of a dare. You are.
That's no deal at all. There's a whole world beyond the crater, filled with ideas and possibilities. We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it, prodded at it, made it squirm.
You can still do all of that just from here. In your crater.
For you? And for science?
For science.
I have a strange sensation that I would like that. How odd.
It's
Very
perfectly
well,
fine.
Partner, the think tank is at your service as long as you do not destroy us.
Righto. Well, that ended nicely, didn't it? And I didn't have to resort to the gun.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others.
Because I'm such a nice guy.
Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he
No
tried
more
the
of that,
same
please.
with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event.
Maybe just lay off the drugs
After
entirely.
all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other.
Please get along.
Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner.
Thank you.
The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The biological research station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden.
And how did that go?
So that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours.
And?
The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
Sorry to hear that.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip.
Damn.
It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip.
Could have been American.
And the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt.
Maybe next time.
Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat.
Why?
One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The sink continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
There, something productive
The
for you.
toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub.
I'm surprised they waited so long.
Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
We still have bread?
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village.
How'd you do that?
It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except, he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Sorry to hear that.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910.
Nice to know someone's looking out for the wasteland even after we're dead.
Good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches.
Ah, how cute.
Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Write it down.
Always gentle and methodical. Kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear.
Sorry.
The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the
I
Autodoc
saw
found
them.
a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was.
I'm sorry, what is
or
this
even
communism
what a high
you
school
speak of?
was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded.
If you say so.
So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes.
Oh no.
To help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it, without so much as a note on the nightstand.
Sorry, it's just that the
So
stealth suit is only
infiltration
interested in
program
me.
sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology.
Sorry,
It eventually
not giving her
found
back.
Retcon HQ and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
Sucks for those guys, am I right? And then she found Rex. How nice. That's
The
nice, I
courier,
guess.
organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be.
Good to know.
After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside.
It's for the best.
They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond, although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier, and if anyone would shape it, well, the courier had already called dibs.
Dibs.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil.
Evil science.
Technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust.
Sorry.
Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Sorry, dog. Brain is back in my body. Hooray. Some of the advanced technologies remain. Your head still cannot be crippled, but you are only 10% more resistant to addiction now. Surprisingly, your damage threshold has improved by 10%. I can now come and go as I please. Thank you, thank you. You were all too kind. Someone's having a lot of fun. He is not going to get tired of that anytime soon, is he? Okay, well, let me just grab my shit. And, yeah, let's see about heading back to the Mojave. Ah, shit, I forgot what it's like to be over-encumbered like this. So badly over-encumbered. This is gonna take a little bit. We'll make it! We'll make it! Don't worry. Okay. There it is. Back to the Mojave with us. Is it good to be back? It's even better as being able to offload all my crap. Okay, well, that was the ending to Old World Blues. Yeah, this is gonna take a while, so should probably go ahead and stop here while the stopping is good, and I'll take care of getting all my crap put away so that I'm not over-encumbered anymore. So, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, then consider hitting the like button, the subscribe button, leaving a comment, and hitting that bell to stay updated with more videos from me. We'll see about getting some more questing done, and then, after a little bit of that, we'll move on to the fourth and final add-on. With that, this is Heero Uzuki, signing off. Seriously, my friendos in the sink, please don't kill each other while I'm away. I'm not sure I can fix you if that happens. Play nice! Don't do drugs. Be awesome.